Hello, my name is Luke and I am the Vicar of St John's Hollington with St Peter and St Paul in Parkstone Road. I'm also on the governing body of Ark Alexandra. But before becoming a vicar, I was a software engineer. I used to write software for making various types of map. That might have been a map of a field on which a developer was going to build houses, a map of a road traffic accident for the police, a map of the sea floor for navigation purposes, something to do with the oil and gas industry, or the thing I spent a lot of time doing, which was finding and recovering aircraft lost at sea. Then one morning we were greeted at the door of the office and told to go home because our employer had gone bust. After a few days, 3 colleagues and I discussed starting our own software company. We were confident in our ability to write the software, and we were arrogant enough to think we could do it better than anyone else. But we knew we weren't experts in everything. None of us had any experience in things like setting up a company, being an employer, dealing with HMRC, that's Her Majesty's Revenue and Customs, marketing, sales, and so on. We knew we needed advice. And we discovered that a lot of advice was available from solicitors, accountants, marketing consultants, and so on, although most of that advice cost money. There are things in life where it is obviously sensible to get advice. That is what Proverbs 20:18, the verse set for the week, says. Plans are established by seeking advice. So if you wage war, obtain guidance. But who do you seek advice from? And is it just for big decisions like going to war? Well, there's a story of a young prince who became king on the death of his father. Some of his people came to him and said, "Please lower the burden of taxes that your father placed upon us." The newly crowned king didn't like hearing that request, but he did seek advice. He sought advice from 2 groups of people. One of those groups says, "Yes, do as they ask. Lower the taxes. Be gentle with your people, and they will serve you." The other group, however, said, "No, don't do as they ask. Raise the taxes. Show them that you are in charge." Which advice should the new king take? Which advice would you take? Unfortunately, the new king took the wrong advice. He raised the taxes and treated his people harshly. His people rebelled, and he lost 90% of his kingdom to a rival. When making a big decision, whose advice do you seek? Do you only ask advice of those who are likely to agree with you? Those who have a similar, perhaps limited, amount of experience as you? Or are you willing to seek the advice of those with more experience than you? Those who are independent, or even those who are likely to hold the opposite point of view? Of course, few, if any of us, are ever going to make decisions about going to war or raising taxes. But all of us are faced with hundreds of smaller decisions every day, many of which will impact your future and maybe the future of your family and friends. Who are your friends? Will those you choose to spend time with lift you up or drag you down? What impact will your friendship choices today have on your learning, your exam results, your college and or career options, and so on? Are you open to the advice of others? Then there are lifestyle choices, things like what you choose to eat, whether you choose to smoke, that have an impact on your health and life expectancy. Are you willing to listen and act on the advice of others? What you do in private, what you do on the internet or behind closed doors, is it good for you? If they knew, what would others say? Would you be willing to take their advice? I wonder if you know what you want to do with your life. Do you have life plans? When I was your age, I had no idea what I wanted to do. And really, until I was in my mid to late 20s, I was buffeted around by circumstances. And I remember thinking to myself, this is your life you're messing up. However, one of the very strong themes in the Bible is that of finding the way through life. And there is a verse in the book of Jeremiah in the Bible which says, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future." If God has a good plan for each of us, for every one of you, then surely when seeking advice, when seeking guidance, it's God's plan for our life that we need to seek.